everyone, my name is Genta, and in these occasions, I want to tell you how creative writing can help you through life's hardest moments. So, have you ever seen something and you wish you could have said something but you didn't? A second question I have is, has something ever happened to you and you never said anything about it? Though you should have. I'm interested in this idea of actions, of the difference between seeing something, which is basically passively observing, and the actual act of bearing witness. Bearing witness means writing down something you have seen, something you have heard, something you have experienced. The most important part of bearing witness is writing it down. It is recording. Writing it down captures the memories. Writing it down acknowledges its existence. One of the biggest examples we have in history of someone bearing witness is Anne Frank's diary. She simply wrote down what was happening to her and her family about her confinement. And in doing so, we have a very intimate record of this family during one of the worst periods of our world history. And I want to talk to you today about how to use creativity writing to bear witness, and I'm going to walk you through an exercise which I'm going to do myself, that I actually do with a lot of my colleagues and students. These are you future engineers, technicians, plumbers. Basically, they are not creative writers. They don't plan on becoming creative writers, but we use this exercise to kind of silence thing we have been keeping silence. It's a way to unburden ourselves, and it's three simple steps. So, step one is to brainstorm and write it down. And what I have my student to do is I give them a prompt, and the prompt is a time when, and I want them to fill in the prompt with times they might have experienced. Something hurt, something or seen something or something, and they could have intervened, but they didn't. And I have them write it down as quickly as possible. So I will give you an example of some of the things I would write down. The time when a few moments after 9/11, and two boys dared themselves to touch me, and they did. The time when my sister and I were walking in the city, and a guy spat at us and called us terrorists. The time way back when I went to very old middle school, and girls a couple years older than me were being married off to men nearly double their age. The time when a friend pulled a gun on me. The time when I went to a going away luncheon for a co-worker, and a big boss questions my lineage for 50 minutes. And there are times when I have seen something and I haven't intervened. For example, the time when I was on the train and I witnessed our father's beating his toddler son and I didn't do anything. Or the many times I have walked by someone who was homeless and in need. They have asked me for money. Seriously, they asked me for money. And I've walked around them and I did not acknowledge their humanity. And the list could go on and on, but you want to think of times when something might have happened sexually. Times when you have been keeping things repressed, and times with our families, because in His voice, God bless them. Our families, we love them, but at the same time, we don't talk about things. So we may not talk about the family members who has been using drugs or abusing alcohol. We don't talk about the family members who might have mental illness. We'll say something like, oh, they have always been that way. And we hope that it not talking about it, in not acknowledging. We can act like it doesn't exist, that it will somehow fix itself. So, The goal is to get at least 10 things. And once you have 10 things, you have actually done part 1, which is bear witness. You have unsilenced something that you have been keeping silence. And so after this, you are ready for writing. Thank you. That's all for me. Good night for everyone and have a nice day.